Hello again, students and family members. This is Mr. Panza going over tonight's homework help video. Again, we're focused on this question: how do we compare as well as order numbers, and specifically we'll be using place value. In a previous video, I showed you these steps, starting by counting the digits. Step 1, sing the place value song. Step 2, create multiple place value charts on top of each other. Step 3, place the numbers on top of one another, making them matchy-matchy. And step 4, compare or order the numbers correctly based on the highest place value to the lowest place value. Now we're going to put that into action. So let's take a look at numbers 1 and number 3 on the worksheet that you could possibly download from my website. Number 1 first. I have two numbers. And the very first thing I'm going to do before I jump into any one of these steps is take a look at the very top thing in the list of events to do, because it tells me count the digits. If I count the digits, I may be able to answer this question without using any of these steps. Here's how. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. And the number I'm comparing it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. The reason I count these digits first is because if one, say, would have 5 digits and the other would have 4 digits, then you'd automatically know that the one with 5 digits is greater than the one with 4 digits, because 5 digits takes us to the 10,000s place value, whereas 4 digits takes us only to the thousands. However, in our case here for number 1, they both have 5 digits, which means they're 10,000s worth, and I've got to compare both of these numbers. So I'm going to take 78,309, 78,093, and compare them together. Let me show you how. So you can see in the example that I've pulled out for you, I've already completed the first couple of steps. We've already counted the digits together and recognized that both 78,309 and 78,093 go to the 10,000s place value, which means counting the digits won't get us what we want. And that also means we have to do steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 to get our correct answer. Step 1, singing the place value song, and step 2, creating multiple place value charts on top of each other is exactly what I've already done here. Starts with ones, then the tens, then the hundreds, followed by thousands, 10,000s, then I stopped and created a brand new place value chart directly underneath of it the same exact way. Starts with ones, then the tens, then the hundreds, followed by thousands, 10,000s, then I stopped again, because now I have two of my place value charts and I put all of the numbers on the correct place value lines, and now I'm ready to compare. You may be wondering, how do I compare? Really, the biggest rule of thumb that you have to remember is right here. Always compare using the highest place value first. So even though when we create our place value chart, it starts with ones, when we are comparing, we need to go all the way to the highest place value. That's because the numbers in the highest place value, even if it were a number, say like 1 or 2, have the greatest worth, because they are not just worth 7 in this example, but they're worth 70,000. In fact, both of these are worth 70,000. Here's another little trick that I use to help me with step 4. When I'm comparing and ordering these numbers, I start at the highest place value, and each time I compare, I give them little tick marks or underlines to check and make sure. If they match, they should have the same number of underlines. For example, I go to the 10,000s place value, I see that my top number has 7, and my bottom number also has 7, so they get one underline. I go to my thousands place value, I see that my top number is 8, and my bottom number is 8. I give them both 2 underlines to make it look as though and make sure that I recognize both of these numbers match each other. I go to my third place value. This number is 3, but this number is 0. These do not match. As soon as I have a non-matching place value number on top of the other, I circle the bigger number. And then I recognize that whichever one I circled is the greater overall number, because this 3 is actually worth 300, which is much larger than a 0. Even though there's a 0 in the tens here in this number, and the 9 in the tens in this number, because this 3 is in the hundreds, that makes this number overall the larger number when comparing the two. So in this case, when I rewrite my answer, 78,309, my alligator is going to want to eat that number because it's greater than 78,093. Let's add one more number and then order them from greatest to least. Let me show you how. If I go back to my worksheet, I want you all to take a look at number 9, because we're ordering these from least to greatest. In this case, I need to take the number 61,352, 61,253, and 61,532 and order them from the smallest number to the largest number. Let me show you how to do that using the steps. Notice that I've set up my 3 place value charts. How did I do that? I followed steps 1 and steps 2. Sing the place value song and create multiple place value charts. Here's the first one, which again, if you sing the song, starts with ones, then the tens, then the hundreds, followed by thousands, 10,000s, and that's exactly how I created the other 2 place value charts. That got me 3 different place value charts all the way up to the 10,000s place value, which will allow me to compare these 3 numbers and organize them from least to greatest. How do I do that? I place the numbers on top of each other, making them matchy-matchy, which means all of my 10,000s must be on top of the 10,000s, and thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones all must also be on top of one another. As long as it's matchy-matchy, you're ready to move on to step 4. Compare and order the numbers correctly, which again means you must start by using the highest place value first, which in this case is the 10,000s place value. I use that same exact underlying strategy when I'm organizing from least to greatest or greatest to least. Let's start with the 10,000s place value. The 6 matches the 6, matches the 6. Now the thousands. The 1 matches the 1, matches the 1. Move into the hundreds place value. The 3 doesn't match the 2, doesn't match the 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to organize my numbers. I'm going to look for the greatest number first because that's going to be the third and last number I write. Well, 5 is greater than 3 and 2, which means this number here in the very bottom is actually going to be the third number I'm going to write. Notice that I not only circled the 5, but I wrote a 3 because it's going to be the third number that I'm going to write. Now I'm just comparing 2 numbers again. Which one's greater, a 3 in the hundreds place value category or the 2? Well, clearly the 3 in the hundreds place value category is my my largest number, second largest number, because the 300 will be greater than the 200, which means this will be the second number that I write. And finally, the first number that I write would be this one, because the 2 in the hundreds is equivalent to 200, which makes this the smallest number overall. Then, I just write it on the line like this. I took the number that I said that I was going to write first, which was right here, and I wrote it first. We write from left to right. 61,253 is my lowest number. Then, I took the number that I said that I was going to write second, and I write it directly next to it, separated with a comma. 61,352 is next. And finally, I take my largest number and I write it third and last, 61,532. Now notice that on this worksheet, they just give you one solid line. I always give you an extra scratch piece of paper because I think that you should use this strategy every single time. Use these steps, line them up on top of each other, create multiple place value charts. Then after you're done checking them off with the underlines, write 1, 2, 3 so you know exactly which way to organize these numbers. If you use this strategy each and every time, I know that you can successfully compare and order numbers every single time. Hope this helps.